Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Adam, welcome back from summer break. What did you do? I saw you did some travel. What did you do over summer break?
Yeah. Thanks for welcoming me back. Yeah, I did some beach trips over the summer. Went to Atlanta for Dragon Con, on Labor Day
Oh,
weekend.
oh, oh,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. So if you knew anyone down there at the time, I would have
I
loved to
actually
catch
thought
up
of
with
you
them.
because one of my friends went there, and I was thinking, Adam likes Dragon Con.
Oh,
You were,
yeah,
you were
should have
there.
told
Great.
you should told me. I will say though, I unfortunately ended the summer with COVID, which I still have right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
So, yeah, ironically, no one else in our hotel room got it, just me, so I was the lucky one. But yeah, it was a good summer overall until that. So yeah, just a lot of traveling and a lot of just kind of enjoying DC.
Did you have any major symptoms or
No, mainly it's sore throat and like fatigue and stuff like that, and it's getting better. But
what's your first time having it?
no, I've had it before,
Okay.
so
Yeah, no,
I know.
I know several people have had it recently. We were actually going to do a story on it in Hot Topics. We ran out of time, but because it's the uptick in COVID cases in the U.S.
Yeah, I saw that in your hot topics, and I was like, oh, this will be something very relevant to me now.
Right, exactly. Well, get better soon. Get better soon.
Yeah,
Well,
thanks.
I'm gonna let you all take it away with movie reviews.
Sure thing. So I won't go into the full summer. There's a lot of stuff that came out. The biggest thing, of course, was the whole Barbie Heimer thing. Such an interesting kind of mix in cult success for the movie industry because at this time a lot of movies were failing. The Indiana Jones movie was doing bad, the Flash movie was doing bad, and then this kind of mix of Barbie and Oppenheimer coming out really set the stage for kind of the summer box office success. And Barbie is the top movie of the year so far. So if you haven't seen it yet, you probably will see it because it's been playing everywhere and it's been nonstop. But I wanted to go into a few of the other things I caught up on, and I was unable to catch a movie this past weekend, obviously due to COVID. But I did catch up on a few TV shows and a movie. And the first movie I want to talk about actually came out right after we started our break, and it's called They Clone Tyrone.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I don't know if any of y'all saw this. It's a Netflix show. It has John Boyega, Jamie Foxx, Tiana Paris, and it's a kind of a sci-fi mystery in that black exploitation style, where they discover that John Boyega's character has a clone of himself. Without going into too many more details, because it's pretty much all spoilers after that, they kind of go to try to unsolve or to solve this mystery that's going on. I thought it was fun. If you have Netflix, check it out. This is a great job. This is one of those movies where the plot may not totally work, but the chemistry between all the leads was so great. And Jamie Foxx is always funny in whatever he's in. And so um, they did a really good job, and I highly recommend that. Um, the only other things I saw that were of note was I started watching the live action One Piece show. And for any fans of the anime and manga, this is basically that in live action. And Netflix has had a history of kind of messing up their live action animes in the past with Cowboy Bebop. But so far, it's pretty good. I actually have never seen the anime. I've never read the manga, but it feels like you're watching one of those cartoons, and that's not a bad thing. It's kind of it's a fun, lighthearted show based on a very popular series. The other show I tried to watch was the Twisted Metal TV show on Peacock, and I don't know if either of y'all seen this either, but based on the video game series, it's basically Anthony Mackie stars as a person who's driving between cities to deliver different packages. And this is a an apocalyptic future where people lived in walled cities, and so everyone driving between the cities kind of shoots at each other with cars. All the cars have little guns and different attachments to them to kind of create that feel of the video game. I got about one episode in, and that was it for me. I think it's definitely trying to be that cheesy, over the top kind of moment in a TV show and not take itself too seriously. But it kind of fell flat with me, and I've mentioned this before. I like Anthony Mackie, but I just don't think he's a lead. He can't carry a show by himself. I don't think he just doesn't have kind of that I guess ability to do it, as some actors do. So that was a big miss for me. And then that's pretty much the highlights. A few other kind of middling shows and movies, but kind of out of the recent watch. And again, Barbie, Oppenheimer, check them out. You won't be disappointed. Oppenheimer, I would say, is over 3 hours. You do feel it. There are slow moments. But if you're a fan of Christopher Nolan, you're going to enjoy this movie no matter what.
I thought that the lineup for the summer was pretty well rounded. I like the diversity in the films. Whether
Mm-hmm.
you like them or not, it was great diversity. I don't know if we've had that in a while with so many different movies out at the same time. It's like something for everybody.
Yeah, I will say, I mean, I did want to get a chance to actually watch Blue Beetle because I know DC's kind of wrapping up, but it's gotten good reviews, and Gran Turismo seemed like a fun kind of family movie that's based on a true story. So, lesson for people out there, don't give up on playing video games because it could become a real career one day.
And what was the show on Peacock? Because I had a thought about that show.
The Twisted Metal.
Okay, so when I saw the trailer for it when it first came on, I judged it before I saw it, and I said, I don't think that the production is going to meet up to the expectation, and it's not going to be good. So I never even gave it a chance because I just didn't feel like they were going to be able to do it justice in that format.
Yep, you were wise to do so because
Yeah,
yes, you could definitely see the kind of the low quality CGI animation for some of the things.
yeah, that's unfortunate because I think it's a great concept. They just need a bigger platform.
Yes, they need like an HBO budget.
Yes, yes. So I saw a film just this weekend. Actually, it's called Last Voyage of the Demeter, and it is based off of a chapter out of Bram Stoker's Dracula, in which it's the part where Dracula is getting transported to the New World. So when he's basically leaving London, going to America, well,
Hmm.
actually Russia, and then from Russia to America. And so, um, yeah, I thought that it was pretty decent. I thought that the special effects were good. They told the story well. And if you know anything about Bram Stoker's Dracula, you know that there's different chapters in Dracula's life, and
Hmm.
they're able to probably piece that book up and probably get 20 great movies out of it just from the little snippets of stories that are told in
Hmm.
the chapters. And I thought that this was very intense. It leaves room open for more, of course, but definitely worth watching if you're into vampires. I was pleased.
Nice.
The next movie that I saw was not new, but it was new to me. It's called The Clover Hitch Killer, and it stars Dylan McDermott, Charlie Plummer, and Madison Beatty. So it's pretty much about a young teenage boy on a quest to find out if his dad is a serial killer or not. And I'll leave it there. Very different story.
Interesting. Yeah.
Um, high drama. Definitely check it out.
Nice. Is that Netflix or is it just
That is on Prime,
Oh,
actually.
perfect.
Yeah. And so I'm watching also on Prime this new series called Deadlock. It's Australian I don't want to call it a soap opera, but it's a series.
Hmm.
But it has comedy kind of infused, and it's like dark humor. And it was a little quirky. Maybe the first episode was a little quirky to me, but I gave it a chance, and then I really started to like it, and it kind of grew on me.
Nice.
And so, yeah, definitely check it out. Especially if you like a who done it, murder mystery. You're trying to figure it out along with everybody else. It's
Yeah.
really good for that. Yeah, and it's a little difficult. You're not gonna guess who you think it is. I think I kind of gave something away, but if you watch it, try to figure it out and let me know if you can figure it out because it
Yeah.
gets confusing. And lastly, I'm watching an animated show called My Adventures with Superman on Max. and that's done by DC Comics, and it's done in the anime style. It's not the normal
Oh,
way
nice.
we normally see DC animated features when it comes to Superman. So it's kind of cool to see it in anime, and the storyline is pretty decent. And they're coming from a different point in Clark's life. They're not taking it all the way back to the beginning. They're starting pretty much as his career starts as a journalist.
Ooh, so it's kind of like that year one Batman take or
Yeah,
year two Batman
yeah,
take. Yeah.
yeah.
Nice,
But
nice.
that's it for me.
I can't remember half the stuff I saw over the break, but I did watch something over the weekend called Ultimatum. It's on Netflix, and it's with couples who have been together usually around 2 years or have they're couples though. Anyway, so they come to the show. It's hosted by Nick Lachey and his wife Vanessa. Is that her name?
Hmm.
Anyway, and so they're pretty much giving their partner an ultimatum. And so if you don't want to marry me, then I need to move on. So what they do is they interact with all the couples for about when they spend a couple days together in their apartment as a couple, then they interact with others. They're supposed to date. They're supposed to break up and they're supposed to date other people that are on the cast. And so at the end of, I think it's a week, you pick the person that you're going to do a trial marriage with for 3 weeks. So they pick the person, they live together for 3 weeks, do their everyday lives. And then at the end of the 3 weeks, they live with their spouse, I mean, their original partner for 3 weeks. And they determine if they fall in love with someone else, if they want to get married, or engaged, or if they're just going to leave single. And so it got a little interesting because there was one couple, and she's the one that gave her boyfriend the ultimatum. He said he sees himself marrying her, but right now is not the time because he wants to be more financially stable, etc. Well, so they go off dating, and there's this young girl there who he's spending a lot of time with. The girl snaps, tells the little girl she needs to go, and she's saying, "You're not taking advantage because you're not. What can you learn from this young girl? You're supposed to be here to learn more about yourself. I would think you get with someone who is, doing other things, or so you can learn more from. You hear it's like it's a little hookup." And so she snapped, left the production, but she ended up coming back the next day. But they both ended up leaving early because she found out she was pregnant. But anyway, so they did all that. All the couples stayed together and they all got engaged at the end. And then so they did a reunion show to catch up, been a year to see where they all were. And some of them have created set wedding dates. So this one girl, she is all about work, all about her. She's an entrepreneur, all about it. I don't see how they're gonna get married. I don't see it. But
That show sounds messy, Steven.
Yeah,
It sounds very
I mean,
messy.
it sounds on par with all your other shows, but
no, this one. So I apparently I'd seen season one. I don't remember saying that when Netflix
that's how
was
memorable it is. Yeah.
but I was watching another show called Love Is Blind. I like that show, right?
Hmm.
So I saw they had new episodes. So it was more like where we are a year later, and so that came up afterwards. I'm like, I don't know if I want to watch this, but then I start watching it while I was doing stuff, and that's how I got invested. But I do agree, it's messy.
I
It's
forgot,
messy.
Steven, do you watch 90 Day Fiance or have you watched that?
I don't know.
Oh, you should. That's up your alley. You
Well,
would
it's
love
it's
it.
funny because the foster mother who had my dog now before I adopted him, I met her, because you have to do a meet and greet first, and she's from Australia, and she moved here right before lockdown of COVID, and she said that she moved here. It was almost like a 90-day fiance style where she had to get married within a certain time with her. They were
Hmm.
already together, but they had to get married, and then she couldn't work for 2 years because of her visa, and so now they both they work from home together all the time. But and so her thing, she fell in love with dogs to kill time. But it was funny how she said 90 Day Fiance. But I'd never seen this show. But I
Yeah.
kind of know.
Yeah.
But Big Brother is back. Big Brother is back. I have a friend that we watch it together and we kind of talk about it afterwards. And he thinks the cast is not that diverse. I think the cast is very diverse, not just from a racial standpoint, but also from an age standpoint. You have a woman there, I think she's in her late 50s, and she's doing well. She's doing very well. She lives here in Atlanta. And then there's another woman who is a 3-time what's the other show? Survivor. She's a Survivor contestant, and she's doing great. Like you would think because people know who she is, but everyone seems to love her. She knows how to play the game very well. But there's a secret twist that no one knows. Her son is also on the cast.
Ah.
And so they played it well. So, but he's young and he's starting to make stupid mistakes. So when the person's voted out, they meet with Julie Chen, right? Julie Chen movies. And she tells them, they're like, oh, that actually makes sense. Some people do because one time he said only my family called me this nickname, and the mom actually called him that.
Mm.
And so, and then he has a showmance on there, this girl he's kind of dating on the show, and he's told her that I'm related to someone in the household. Well, there ain't but 3 Black people. And so she guessed the other woman was his, because another older woman, she's his mom. But he's getting a little sloppy. But anyway, it's really good. Big Brother never disappoints. Never disappoints. So one of my friends just texted me, I guess, watching yesterday's episode. but it's really good.
Oh,
But anything coming out of the pipeline?
Yeah, well, speaking of mysteries, as Chike was mentioning with Deadlock, A Haunting in Venice. This is kind of continuing that Agatha Christie movies that we've been seeing, but this one is actually based on apparently a short story that was never made into a movie. So it's kind of like a whole new Agatha Christie mystery for us. But that one's on my list as kind of the next big thing I want to see.
I don't actually have a list, so I'm open. I'm open.
Big Brother.
I'm actually I have to shout out. I'm sorry. I'm actually going to go see a film on Saturday. I'm doing the red carpet for Queen of Knives. It's the sequel to a movie that we reviewed before called King of Knives, and so this is the sequel, Queen of Knives. So I guess I'll be reviewing that come next week.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Well, as always, thank you for letting us know what to spend our time and money on, what not to. And we'll see you again next week.
Thanks.
Welcome back.